Hello, today I'm going to be talking about artifact and a time in my life where I should have listened. So first of all, I'm going to be talking about an artifact, the thing that really resonates with me, what a personal object that truly shows how vulnerable am I. So this video isn't just about an assignment, it's more than that. I'm going to open up a bit about who I really am. So this is my artifact. I'm not going to show you up close because it's a bit dirty and murky, but I'm gonna show just a glimpse right over here. So this personal artifact, I'm going to describe it as a very, again, it's a pillow. So it's very soft, it has a particular smell that I'm used to. It's something that I hold very dearly because I grew up with it. I've had it since I was a baby. So what does this artifact says about me? What does it says about my sense of comfort, security, and identity? Essentially, it is one of my identity because since I grew up with it, every mark, every burnt, every torn piece of the pillow shows a great journey of myself, how I've become who I am today. It really shows a lot of memory, it holds a lot of memory, and I'll say that if I'm going anywhere, which I will always bring every time I lounge or travel or sleep or doing any activities outside, I would bring this artifact because this piece of artifact is what makes a room and environment a home for me. It essentially bringing a piece of who I am everywhere. It reminded me to be grounded, and it showed me a lot of warmth and how I become to myself, and I really depend a lot of things with it. So it isn't something like a phone or your clothes. It's more than that. It's my personal comfort zone, my personal refuge, I might say. If I didn't have that in me, with me, or it got lost, I would feel that some part of me has been taken away. Part of me would feel a bit insecure because this thing brings me a lot of sense of familiarity, which I am drawn to. This not only going to hinder my emotion, but physically I felt lost without it. Again, it is about who I am, it is my identity, it is my comfort world. And so a bit of sentiment, this pillow does bring a lot of meaning to me, and it's not just a pillow, it's my place where I call home for myself. Moving on to the time where I should have listened. One time I was an employee of a modest retail clothing store. I have a senior employee who reminded me at the first day of my job is to pay attention and pay close details to what the customer prefer, what the customer is buying, what are their faces, so that any mishap could be avoided. And I listened, but at one time I feel like a bit lazy, and I would do my job very, I say, precariously, and I didn't do a very good job at the time. And I was in charge of the cashier at that time because of my senior employee had to do something else. And then when I'm at the cashier, I would do all the things correctly, but I didn't pay close attention to the customer itself. I would giggle with my friends, would giggle with her, talk with her, essentially just like avoiding any eye contact or social contact with the customer itself. So when I was beeping the customer's tag and I was putting stuff in her bag, she was supposed to tap her card on the card machine for waiting for it to read and the receipt will come out, right? So that is where my mistake happened. I typed in the number, which is the cost of that thing that she should have paid. I typed it in. I said, please put your card, but without making any eye contact whatsoever to the customer. And then she tapped it and she said, it's okay, no receipt. She took the bag and ran. The card reader didn't even process or read the card yet, and it had an error obviously because it didn't read the card, so the transaction didn't go through. When I realized that, I was like in shock because of the amount of stuff that she bought. And when my friend asked, do you remember her face, do you remember what she bought, do you remember any detail whatsoever about the customer that I am attaining to, I couldn't. And that is where my mistake happened. I couldn't remember a single thing, and I regret it so much because I went on search for her, but since I couldn't remember her face, I failed to do the job, and I had to pay. I had to reimburse every money that didn't go through, which come to 70 ringgit. It's a lot for me because I'm a part-timer and a student obviously, so I had to pay it on the spot to make up for the loss. And I deeply regret, and I automatically pay close attention to my customers after that because I would not want any other losses happen after that. And that is a time where I should have listened. Thank you so much.